Everybody's looking at that one property. There's two other properties that she committed mortgage fraud on, and every single mortgage document that she signed going back 42 years with her signature on it had falsified information. It was false.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, check it out. Here we have your girl. Hold on. Let's do that right. Here we have your girl, Letitia James. You already know she's in a whole world of trouble, y'all, with her recent indictment for bank fraud. I've been saying mortgage fraud for the longest, but you know, it's more or less the same thing, isn't it? Now, y'all, what we're going to talk about today, and we talked about this in the previous video, so I'm going to loop this in as well, is that her indictment, the indictment that they slammed on her last week, that indictment is likely not going to be the end of the charges that they being the prosecutors in the Eastern District of Virginia. It's likely not going to be the end of the charges that Letitia James has to face. Now, why is that? As you're going to see in this video, there are claims by Sam Antar. And you're going to know who, if you don't know who Sam is, he's the person who started all of this. Okay. Way back in January, February, he started posting about irregularities in Letitia James's mortgage history. Okay. And you're going to see how he came to, in this video, you're going to see how he came about this whole topic and everything. But he also says in her 42-year mortgage history, y'all, I'm 45. Okay. So when I was a wee little lad out here trying to learn about this world, according to Antar, Letitia James was starting her mortgage irregularity. I wouldn't say fraud, but I'm just going to say her mortgage irregularity. She was starting her. So I'm out here learning about the world, right? And I'm like, mama, dada. And she at the same time is saying that her dad is her husband on a mortgage document, y'all, way back in 1982, 83, something like that. And then coming all the way forward till today, according to Antar, all of her mortgage documents have irregularities. And if you're being generous. If you're being cynical, fraud. Like it wouldn't just be a pattern. It would be a habit. It would be a modus operandi, if you will. So what we're going to do, y'all, today is we're going to take a look at how Antar says more charges are likely coming. And we're also going to loop in how insurance fraud was probably part of all this as well. Y'all, I just want to say this, editorializing real quick. Just let me pop a little opinion in there real quick. This is wild, y'all. I mean, this is truly wild. This is truly wild. And I'll tell you what, I thought she was squeaky clean when I first started covering this. And little did I know, and y'all got on me, little did I know what we would uncover, y'all. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Oh yes, and you'll notice the video is altered a little bit. I'm using these videos under fair use for news and commentary purposes, but we still, we want to avoid the problems. But before we do, y'all, we have a new webpage for my people out there who are like, yo, I have money, but I don't want to give it away to the people who are trying to take it. How can I protect my retirement? Y'all, gold. How many times do I have to tell you? Gold has been man's longest monetary best friend for 5,000 years. I mean, what else are you looking for? Go to our webpage. Go to the new webpage, Paralegal, PARALEGOLD.com. Get the information on how to protect your retirement. And you can call 844-651-8334 and speak to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Now let's go ahead and hop into this content.
Joining us now, forensic accountant Sam Antar, the man who uncovered this all at the very beginning. You broke this open. It has gone all the way to the top, to the DOJ. Letitia James has now been indicted again, Sam. As I said, I'm not celebrating this. Like, oh, yeah, great, they got her. That's not what this is about. This is about someone doing something allegedly wrong and getting caught, so walk us through it.
I'll walk you through it. First of all, she owns 3 properties, one on Peroni Avenue in Virginia, one on Sterling Drive in Virginia, and one in Brooklyn. This indictment covers the property on Peroni Avenue.
So y'all, we were looking at the property where her niece lives as the most likely property for any kind of indictment, because there she had declared she would be an owner occupant of the property, even though it's in Virginia and she's the attorney general of the state of New York. This indictment does not cover that situation. Okay. So interestingly enough, while we were all focused on the property in Virginia where she said she would own or occupy, and we were also focused on the New York property where she declared it to be a 4-unit instead of the 5 units that it actually is, neither one of those are as of now the subject of the indictment. Okay, so let's get more information about what actually happened with this indictment.
The way, first of all, I'm not part of this tit for tat with Trump or anything like that.
Nope.
I was at the time I was retired, taking my time looking through financial puzzles, and I was looking at the financial reporting of Letitia James to New York State, her personal financial disclosures. What I found was she bought that property on Peroni Avenue, the one she was indicted for, in 2020. In 2021, she showed no mortgage. 2022, she showed no mortgage. In 2023, all of a sudden, 2 mortgages pop up that exceed the value of the property by about 200%. That led to a red flag, so I went back, as any forensic accountant does, and I ordered the title report, and all of a sudden, I find that she bought the property with a mortgage that was never disclosed, and the 2 mortgages that were disclosed to New York State were not in the property records, unrecorded mortgages. Now,
okay, so in order to understand this, it's very simple. You have a first home. That's where you live, your primary residence. You can have a second home, let's say a beach home or a home near your parents, or maybe you buy the home that your mom and dad live in. You don't charge them rent, but it's your second home. You go, you stay with them periodically during the year or whatever. That's your second home. You live there, but just not full time, not primarily. Then you have an investment property. You don't live in the investment property. Okay. You don't live there. Okay. So with the investment property, that's usually going to get you the highest mortgage rates and the highest insurance rates. Okay. Because you don't live there. It's not under your personal care. The people who live there are renters, and presumably the renter is not going to care for the property to the same extent that the owner would. So you pay more. Okay. That's the basic breakdown.
this property here, she got caught because the mortgage clause said that she was going to buy it as a second home. She put it on her tax return that she was going to be there 0 days a year. She also put it on a Schedule E, which is on a tax return, that she was earning income from it. Fine. Okay, but the problem is she never told the bank it was going to be an investment property, and she reaped benefits from it.
Couldn't be a rental based on the mortgage rate that they gave her,
right.
Correct?
Now, the other interesting thing, which I said on the air earlier, is she showed income on her financial disclosures in 2020 when she bought the property. She didn't show the property mortgage. But 2021 and 22, 23 and 24, she didn't show any income on that property. So was she underreporting to New York State? I don't know. It's something that I said on the air. The Fed's got to look at it.
And clearly they have, and clearly they've decided
Yes.
it was appropriate to bring an indictment down in a grand jury. They're doing
Yes.
their thing. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is my question about this potential case, okay? First of all, it's going to have to survive what we call a motion for dismissal, okay? Motion to dismiss. Her side is almost certainly going to ask the judge to just dismiss this case. Just get rid of it. There's no merit. There's no possible legitimate prosecution here, okay? That's the first thing. Now, once it survives that, if and when, you still have this defense. You have I think the most reasonable defense for Letitia James that she's going to launch is this. I bought the house as a second home, and then I decided to rent it out. I bought the house as a second home, then I changed my mind from living there part-time to I'm just going to use it as an investment property. Now, how does the prosecutor overcome that? Would a jury buy that defense? I don't know. But I think that's not only is it the most reasonable defense, but I can't think of another defense. I mean, you either bought it as a second home and then changed your mind. You got the benefit of the second home interest rate, maybe insurance rate, then you changed your mind and decided to rent it out, or you just committed fraud. Like I can't think of any other between those two options if you actually filled out the paperwork that way. But now see, Antar he's not stopping there. As I told y'all, this is just the first of many, according to Antar, 42 years worth of mortgage irregularities, if you're being charitable to Letitia James. And Antar believes that more is on the way.
But this is only one of more to come.
That's right.
Because
all right, that was where I was going to lead this to, because there are other properties. And I know the property in Brooklyn, the way she listed it with a certain amount of rooms in there. Not the case.
Certain amount of units.
Units, okay.
She said it was 4 units. She said, well, I've always used this 4 units, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
it's
bleep that one out.
It's 5 units according to the certificate of occupancy. No owner of a property can determine their own occupancy. They have to get permission from the Department of Buildings to change the certificate of occupancy. Certificate of occupancy said 5. She should have applied as commercial loans at higher rates. She should have applied for commercial insurance at higher costs, but she didn't. She treated it as a 4-unit or less property.
Do you think, well, let's focus in on the property in Virginia where the indictment has come down. Would you consider that to be pretty much a slam dunk? I've heard other people talking about it, that, you know, the way it's laid out, I mean, she did this and that's that.
It's as plain as day. But
this isn't a complicated case, I guess.
No, it isn't a complicated case, but everybody's looking at that one property. There's 2 other properties that she committed mortgage fraud on, and every single mortgage document that she signed going back 42 years with her signature on it had falsified information. It was false.
So you're saying all 3 properties, all mortgage fraud across the board?
Yes, this is like, this is not a one-off. I'm sorry, this is not a one-off mistake.
Yeah.
This is one right after the other, right after the other.
So you're saying she knew what she was doing and was doing it on repeat? That's
yes.
It. Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, Sam Antar, appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
So if this does go to trial, y'all, what's going to happen is you're also going to have a battle about the evidence that the jury is going to be able to see. And will the prosecution be able to present evidence in front of the jury showing these other irregularities going back 42 years, as Antar says, as Antar alleges, will the prosecution be able to show the jury evidence going back 42 years? I would say if the prosecution is able to show the jury evidence going back 42 years, then Letitia James is in big trouble. She's in big, because that would show a pattern of activity. Now, there are rules of evidence where you can show patterns of activity, but you know, it's all going to come down to what the judge rules in this situation. And I would imagine that the prosecution is going to try to admit evidence going back 42 years. If they get that in and the jury sees all that, it's a wrap, because you can't explain it all away. You can't explain it all away. You can explain away 1, you might even be able to explain away 2. But when you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 20 different instances of something similar going back 42 years, it's over. So, and also in addition to the mortgage fraud situation, you also have the insurance fraud situation. Now, we covered this recently. For y'all who didn't hear this, I'm going to loop this in too, because insurance fraud could also be on the docket.
I'll raise one other thing with you, Laura, which was fascinating in this indictment that U.S. Attorney Halligan did. She lays out in there, and I didn't know this, but it's fascinating to me, that Letitia James, according to the indictment, said that she had a primary residence at this secondary home for purposes of insurance. I believe, and I don't know for sure, we'll have to see what happens, that that's insurance fraud. And a lot of people just think, Laura, well, it's mortgage fraud. You have downstream crimes when you have mortgage fraud. You have insurance fraud, you have tax fraud. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see a superseding indictment, but of course, that would be all up to the DOJ.
Very, very interesting.
So now those allegations of insurance fraud. This is from Gateway Pundit. This website has been on the forefront of breaking down all of these mortgage allegations and is reporting on potential insurance fraud as well. Now, where would the insurance fraud come from? According to Gateway Pundit and to my own background, I can say that this makes a lot of sense. It says here, firstly, this regards James's claim of residence for a home mortgage in Norfolk, Virginia. Whether a home is owner occupied or not plays a significant role in how insurance companies determine rates for homeowners insurance. Owner-occupied homes, the primary residence in which the homeowner actually lives, are typically considered lower risk by insurers. They believe that these homes are better and regularly maintained and monitored, and that issues like water damage, fire, or theft are more likely to be caught early or prevented altogether. As a result, insurance premiums for owner-occupied homes are generally lower. In contrast, non-owner occupied homes, such as rental properties, vacation homes, or vacant houses, pose a higher risk and usually come with higher premiums. For rental properties, landlords need specialized insurance, also often called DP3 policies, that covers dwelling liability and potential loss of rental income. So as you can see where this is going, if you are claiming that you are going to owner occupy a rental property, one, we can say fraud, right? Because the benefit to you is you get the owner occupied insurance rate, which is going to be a lower rate usually than if you were to take out an insurance policy for that same dwelling, that same property, but as a rental property. So yeah, y'all, I think that Letitia James, this prosecution is going to be difficult for her in as much as, and respect to and relative to how much evidence from her previous mortgages, one, are included in any kind of superseding indictment, and two, the court is willing to or inclined to allow the jury to see. Y'all, let me know what you think about this. Do you think that this prosecution makes it past the motion to dismiss phase? And if so, do you think that the judge will allow the 42 years, alleged 42 years of mortgage irregularities to be presented in front of the jury? Let me know down in the comments, y'all. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Y'all go check out our new webpage, Paralegal, PARALEGOLD.com. Find out how to protect your precious retirement from the upsies, downsies, roundsies, and the roundsies. And you can reach out to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.